Hi, this is Arthur Carmazzi, and I have been challenged by Brendon Burchard of High Performance Academy at highperformanceacademy.com to do a video and basically give 3 fundamental ideas that are going to help improve your life and basically make a difference in the lives of others. So I would like to share with you a little about colored brain and how that has really influenced my ability to create success in my life and success in a lot of other people that I have worked with. So, first of all, how many of you have a brain? Okay, now we're going to assume that if you're watching this on YouTube, you have at least enough of a brain to turn on the computer, so we'll work with that. So, if you have a brain, let's assume that you are doing things in a very specific way. Your brain literally has a specific type of processor. Now, there's all sorts of stuff out there on how people have personalities and all these different kinds of things. This is not about that, okay? This is not about what you do. It is not about your behavior or your beliefs. This is literally only about how you do things. It's not even why you do things. It has nothing to do with your motivation. This is fundamentally deals with 3 genes that have certain lengths, and those lengths basically determine the amount of enzymes that more or less help to create the connections that are connected in your brain. So the concepts of neuroplasticity and all of this stuff still apply, and you can still create all sorts of new habits. It's just that how you do it is going to be a little bit different. So let's look at the different components of the colored brain model. Okay? First of all, there are 4 different processors that are common. There's actually 9, but let's stick with 4 for now. Okay? One of them is going to be chaotic processing. We call this the green brain. Okay? And basically, if you look up here, okay, it has all this stuff jumbled in your head and nothing is connected. Nothing is connected, which basically means that anything is possible. And here's the thing, okay? Because nothing is connected, what ends up happening is that literally everything that a green brain person is going to do needs to have some way of connecting stuff, and they connect things through action. I mean, moving things is like, you know, talking to people, hey, what do you think about this? Okay, so they connect things through action. Now, because they're connecting things through action, well, that is how they eventually get clarity, and they're very action-oriented. So it's very easy for a green brain person to take action. Now, let's look at another one. The red brain, or linear processing. Linear processing is literally that. It's linear. Okay? Get the facts, cross-reference, analyze, get bigger pictures. Okay? Cross-reference, analyze, get bigger pictures, okay? As you analyze, you start to get clarity. And once you have absolute clarity through this structured process, then, if it's okay, then you take action. If it's not, it's like, okay, maybe, you know, the facts are wrong, and you gotta kind of start over, and you gotta look at things. Now, a lot of you may think, but Arthur, you know, I've got all these creative things, and I kind of, you know, go over here and I do all these kind of things, but I also analyze things, okay? Here's the thing, okay? As human beings, we develop software. Now, can a green brain chaotic processor analyze things? Of course they can, but they're going to do it in a very different way than linear processors do. A green brain chaotic processing is going to basically take action in their head. If I do this, this happens. If I do this, this happens. Okay? While a linear processor is not going to be taking action in their head. They're going to be looking at it from a logical, systematic, do this, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, linear process. Okay? So, still getting analysis, but the analysis is done in a different way. Now, let's look at the purple brain. Okay, now the purple brain, this is what we call relational processing. It's basically like a database in your head. Everything is connected, but everything is connected through, literally, information, data, details, all these little bits and pieces. It's all connected. All of this is connected through data and details. So, purple brain is literally going to need to get all of the details, all of the little bits of information, and they're going to, you know, make sure they have lots of information in order to feel comfortable before they take action. Once they have all of the details, it's like, oh, It's like turning on all of the TV sets on one wall, and now you see the big picture, okay? But oftentimes, of course, that takes a little bit of a long time, and yeah, sometimes, people may misinterpret that for being slow or, whatever, okay? And so people who need lots and lots and lots of information, okay, are purple brain relational processors. And sometimes because they have so much information, they don't necessarily delegate things, which also means they have a lot of extra work for themselves. So then finally you have the blue brain, and this is what we call intuitive processing. Now intuitive processing, okay, if you look, everything is kind of connected, okay? Things that happened last year, things that happened 10 years ago, kind of this emotion that you had with your first girlfriend or boyfriend, all of these things, everything is connected. Values, time, space, people, okay, relationships, everything, okay? And it's connected through this kind of sensitivity of the world around you. Now here's the thing, okay? With a blue brain, okay, this is intuition. All right, now, intuition by lots of people means as like, oh, it's some mystical thing. Well, let me give you a little bit more of a scientific side of it, okay? First of all, intuition is basically, as we are walking around, okay, we notice things, okay? Our brain notices things, our subconscious notices things. Now, we may not be actually aware of the things that we're noticing, but it's there. So the blue brain basically has a little bit more of a connection to all the stuff that has already happened to them in their subconscious. So they have all of this experience that they're not really aware of, and so then when they make decisions or come up with solutions or come up with some ideas, it just feels right. They can't really explain it, but in reality, it's because it's all connected to existing, real, subconscious experience that they have either heard, seen, or experienced somewhere in their life, or even forgotten about. Okay? So, these are the 4 different colored brains. So, how do we use this? Well, let me show you how I have used these to basically create more success, more joy, more passion, more just awesomeness, okay, in my life. Okay? So, number 1. Okay? First of all, if you are dealing with people, number 1. If you're dealing with people, sometimes, you explain something to them and they look at you and they say, okay, and you say, you understand, right? And they say, yes, I do. And then they go off and do something and they do something completely different. And then you get frustrated and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm surrounded by idiots. Okay, well, here's what has happened. I used to be very impatient and very, I wasn't such a nice guy sometimes, let's just say that. And what ends up happening is that through understanding a little bit more about colored brain, it helped me to manage my own expectations. Literally, to put myself into situations like, okay, I know what color I am, I know what I'm expecting, and so if I give this to this person, how are they going to approach it? They're not probably going to approach it in this way or maybe this way, or if I explain something to them, how do I need to explain it? So by managing my own expectations, I'm able to deal with people more intelligently and basically help them to achieve things a little bit better. Now, that being said, the next thing that I was able to get from this is, I was able to literally, by understanding other people's strengths, I was able to help them focus on their strengths. Focus on their strengths so that instead of setting people up for failure, because sometimes, you see things. It is very, very clear. For example, let's say you are looking through certain colored glasses, like some red colored glasses, and when you see things, it is just obvious. It is so clear, and when anybody tells you it's not like that, it's just like, what? And you know that that's not true, because it's so clear through the glasses that you look at. And so what happens is that it is so clear to you that you expect it to be equally as clear to others, and because of that you get impatient, you get angry when they make a mistake. It's like, how could you not see that? Look at it! Isn't it just so obvious? When you're dealing with people intelligently, you can set them up for success instead of failure. See, that's the thing, is oftentimes, immediately the first thing we do is we are setting people up for failure. The moment that somebody does something wrong, boom, okay? What do we notice? We don't notice all the cool things that they've done over the past year, okay? What we notice is the one thing that they just went wrong on, okay? Set people up for success. Help them to focus on their strengths, and then you're going to make an impact not only on your productivity, not only on the ability to create and just, be awesome, but you're going to make people succeed in the process of achieving your objectives. So what happens is that we oftentimes create situations where we make people feel that they're incompetent or they're not as good or they can't do something. And that basically breeds giving up. And so when people start to give up, well, no, I can't do it anyway, I'm not good enough. It's like, he thinks I'm like that, I'm gonna just find another job where somebody appreciates me. And see, by knowing that the things you see and that, are not going to be as clear, you're helping people to do things in their way of doing things, their clarity, their perception of reality, the way that really works for them. How they approach things may be totally different than yours, but it works for them. Just like when you have a recipe that you give to somebody and you know exactly what it tastes and it's all detailed out, but for some reason, it just never tastes the same because they're trying it your way. But when they do it, they put a little bit of themselves into it, and it always comes out different. And of course, finally, and this one is really key. See, I have chaotic processing, green-brained, okay? And this is probably also what Brendon has as well, okay? And because of this, I've got these really big ideas. I mean, I can, come up with all sorts of really cool ideas. And my wife, okay, she is red-brained. And when she looks at things, it's like, whoa, okay? Very structured, very this. It's like, okay, did you think about this? Did you think about this? Did you think about this? And you know what? Until she actually says something, I didn't think about it. It's like, oh yeah, and then I come up with an answer. Through interaction with other brain colors, that's when you start to really get more clarity, more power, and more ability to create anything you want. It's when you start to kind of get together with all the same brain colors, you can have a really great time, or you can like, wow, this is like this, and this is like this, and everybody connects, and everybody sees everything in the same way, but it doesn't help you to achieve your greatness. Surrounding yourself with different brain colors, understanding them, helping them to succeed, setting them up for success, and managing your own expectations is going to create an environment where you will succeed and others will succeed with you. This is Arthur Carmazzi wishing you great success.